Hey guys, R4GE VipeRzZ here, and today I'm going to show you how you can install Windows 10 onto a computer using an installation USB. So if you don't already have an installation USB, a link will be in the description to a video that shows you how to make one of those. So the first thing that we're going to do is we're going to plug the USB in, and then we're going to need to boot into the BIOS. Now, depending on what motherboard you have, the button that you press to boot into the BIOS will most likely be different. So for me, when I turn the computer off and turn it on again, I need to press the delete key to get into the BIOS, but for you it might be delete, or it might be something like F2, F8, F10 or F12. When you first start the computer up, there should be a little message that says F2 or F12 or something like that for the BIOS. For me it is delete. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to turn the computer off, so it's fully powered off, and then we're going to power it back on. And I'm going to keep pressing the delete key so that I boot up into the BIOS. Right, so now I've turned the computer on, so I'm pressing the delete key to boot into the BIOS, and now I'm booted into the BIOS. Your BIOS might look very different, or it might look the same as mine, but what you need to look for is either the boot sequence or the boot order. So as you can see here, I have the boot sequence, so I'm going to go into the boot sequence, and then we need to change it so that our USB is first. So I plugged in a SanDisk USB, so it's this one here. So I'm going to get the SanDisk USB and I'm going to make it first in the boot sequence. Now I will just change my BIOS design, so I will just change it to an older looking one. So if your BIOS looks like this, then the way that you can do it in this one is you can come to save and exit, and then you can see the section where it says boot override. Now here is where you can choose a device to boot to straight away. So if I came down to the USB here and I pressed enter, that would boot to that USB as soon as I pressed enter, and then if I turn the computer off and on again, it would go back to its normal boot order. Now if your BIOS doesn't look like either of these, there might just be a tab in your BIOS that says boot, and your boot order should be in there. But like I say, I can't give you exact instructions on how to change your boot order because every BIOS is different. So I'm just going to go back to my old design, and then I'm going to make sure the USB is still first in the boot sequence, and then I'm just going to click exit, and that should restart the computer, and it should then boot up into the installation USB. Right, so now the computer's booted up into the USB, we can now start installing Windows. So at this window is where you choose the languages that you want installed. So all the languages are correct for me, so I'm just going to click next, and then I'm going to click install now. Now at this window, you can either enter your product key now, or you can click I don't have a product key here and enter a product key later on. So I don't want to enter my product key now, so I'm just going to click I don't have a product key here. And then I'm going to scroll down and I'm going to find the version of Windows that I want to install. So I want to install Windows 10 Pro, so I'm going to choose that option, and then I'm going to click next. And then you need to read the license terms before you can install Windows, and then once you've read them you can click I accept and then click next. Now if this window appears, you then just want to click install Windows only. Now this has come up for me because the computer currently has Windows on already, so I'm just going to click install Windows only here, and then this is where you need to select the drive that you want to install Windows onto. So if you're not sure which drive is the one that you want to install Windows onto, it's first best just to look at the total size of the drives. So as you can see, these other three drives are only a few megabytes in size, and that is because they're only small partitions of my main drive. So this is the partition that I want to install the operating system onto. As you can see, it has 232.3 gigabytes free. So I'm going to select this drive partition here, as that's where I want to install the operating system. So once you've selected the drive you want to install the operating system onto, we're then just going to click next, and it's now going to start installing Windows onto the drive. Right, so now Windows is installed, we can now carry on setting it up. I've turned Cortana off because she's annoying, so it's just checking that is the language correct, and yes it is, so we're just going to click yes. And is the keyboard correct? Yes it is. And do I want to add a second keyboard layout? I don't, so I'm just going to skip that. So now you can choose how you'd like it to be set up. Is it for an organization or is it just a personal device? So for me it's a personal device, so I'm just going to click personal use here and then click next. And then if you want, you can create an online account, but I would recommend just creating a local account. So I'm just going to click offline account here. And then it's asking you if you want to sign in with another Microsoft account instead. I don't, so I'm going to click no. And now we can actually create our local account. So I'm just going to call this account PC and I will click next. And then you can set up a password if you want. I'm not going to bother. And then you can decide whether you want Cortana or not. Cortana will automatically be installed anyway, but I don't want to use it, so I'm going to click no. And then you can choose what settings you want on. So I'm going to turn off the ones I don't want. And then I'm going to click accept. Right guys, so that's it. Windows has now finished installing. So now the next thing we want to do is we want to update it and check if there are any updates. But apart from that, that's it. So guys, if you liked the video, don't forget to hit the like button. If you disliked it, hit the dislike button. Subscribe for more content like this, and I'll see you another time. Bye.